Thank you so much for my name's Gia. My name's Gia Design. I'm an intern at Boostability from Rutgers University. And I just want to open the floor up to Efrat because we have recently gotten a bunch of questions through the Instagram. And I just wanted to ask you, what are the challenges that students are facing during the summer?
So definitely I will answer it in a second. I just want to introduce our interns here. So Aria, Anna, and Faye, do you want to introduce yourself before we are quickly starting?
Yeah, so my name is Anna Lee, and I am a junior at Pace University, and I am a content strategy intern for Boostability this summer.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Aria. I'm also a content strategy intern and I go to Liberty University online.
Hi, I'm Faye Shapiro. I'm a recent graduate of Oregon State University. I work in the mental health field and I was a psychology major with a lot of experience in design and marketing.
Excellent. So Gia, can you please repeat your question?
Yes, so I was just wondering, what are some of the challenges that students have been facing over the summer?
So excellent. So student and challenges, it's like coming together, regardless whether it's summer or it's during the year. Just think about it, that the summer is just giving it some feeling or like more time. The challenges are the same. And students are under a lot of pressure. And when we talk about student pressure, we can talk about school assignment, completing task on time, getting good grades, but it's more than this. It's interviewing, it's find right internship for yourself. Where am I in the social connection around myself, my social life? So all of these are causing a lot of stress and challenges for the students to how can I manage all these um, all these actions, all these activities, and staying alive and happy. So that was one of our motives to start Boostability, because what Boostability is helping all students is think about it, this will be your AI coach in your pocket. So you have a challenge with preparing for an interview, put it inside Boostability, and Boostability will digest this big assignment into small, doable tasks, especially for you. So it's personalized based on your needs. And in this way, we will empower you to adjust your big goals into smaller and easy to do activities.
That's fascinating. I like how you can build your routine through boostability. But follow-up question, how can you build a consistent study routine when you don't feel motivated?
Excellent. And I think this is like the questions of what will get me motivated. So when I think about building a routine, you first build a routine, and by successfully doing it, you get your motivation. So my three steps for building a routine always start small, but I can say ridiculously small. Means you want to start a routine, read a chapter, read a book, read a page every day for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes for 5 days. And then you are starting to see, does it work for you? Doesn't work for you? Step two, you need to learn how your brain is focusing, how you need to know your brain, and we'll touch about it more we'll touch about it later. And the third one is my personal strong belief, wins and treats. Always when you wrap up an activity, always when you're finishing something you planned, put a motivation booster for yourself. Go with a friend for a coffee, take your dog for a walk, chat with a friend. So you always try at the end of the day to treat yourself with something that will encourage you.
That's great to hear. What techniques can people use to help fo improve their focus, especially for people who get distracted very easily?
So as I mentioned before, the goal here, get to know your brain. So you need to try multiple things, multiple tools to know what's working for you. First and foremost, use the Pomodoro strategy. Pomodoro is based on this kitchen clock, the kitchen timer that you can set. If you know, it's an old style of tomato that you can set for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So you can use Pomodoro and set the time for focus. And Pomodoro, you can do it usually 25 and 5. So 25 minutes of focusing and 5 minutes of taking a break, or 50 and 10, depends on what's your preferences and how your brain is working with it. Second strategy is body doubling. And the idea with body doubling, I will take it all over the day. So let's assume you have a long session to study, use body doubling application and just get a strange someone to join your Zoom. And the fact that you're sitting with someone, you don't need to talk to them, but the fact that you're sitting with someone can really help you stay and focused. Second part of body doubling is teaching and practicing. So you completed a chapter, find a friend, your roommate, someone from your class that you decide to work with him and just explain to them this chapter. There are no friends around, use your pet, talk to your pet. And the fact that you are practicing it can improve your focusing, because you will see that what you learn is actually in your brain. And again, at the end of it, wins and treat. So when you complete your session and you feel good about it, celebrate it.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Another question we received is, how can I figure out when my brain is most focused or alert?
Super, super important question. So how to get to know your brain? And I want to break it out to 3 steps. First of all, you will need to track a certain activity, then you will try, and third, you will improve it. So to track your brain, or to understand how your brain is working, you need to try and identify what time of the day you feel that you're emotionally and energetic, ready to study. So you're feeling good, you feel, you know what, I can sit right now and study, I have the right energy and the right mood to it. Now, most of the people divide between the morning people or the night people. You like to study when it's quiet around you and you are alone and you can think, or you like to be early birds. So try to figure out between them. The other shortcut here is ask your roommates, your friends, your parents, your mom, your dad, what do they think? Because they know you very well. So they can say, no, I think you're a night owl. Okay, so try it out. Then the second step is to take a week and try and study or work during these hours. So if you are a night owl, probably try to not watch a movie or do other activities, but try to study at this time. See if it's working for you. And then the third part is to adjust, means that if you need to change that, update it. But as you learn yourself, as you learn your brain, that's the way it's going to work.
I like what you said about studying at different times of the day and just figuring out whether you're a night owl or you work better in the day. So, follow-up question to that, what does a truly effective study environment look like, and what should students avoid in their study environments?
So based on tons of research and a lot of them that I read and that I'm sad that I didn't read when I was in school, and based on the feedback that we got from the student who worked with us in Boostability, is your environment need to be shushed. Means shushed, no distractions or as minimum distractions that you can focus. Now, let's break it down. Your laptop, closed any notifications. You don't need any social media while you study. Close any application that are open. Close browser tabs. And for some people, it can take a few minutes, but close everything and just keep open what you need for this assignment. Second one, and Gia, that's going to be hard, is your phone. Turn your phone to flight mode or leave it in another room, because for the next 25 minutes, you will not use it. It's hard, and it's really, really hard to do it. But when you're getting practice on it, suddenly it's working fine. Third one is your desk. Think about your desk, keep it as small as possible. just to what you need. So you need your laptop, you need your noise cancellation, your water. If you have a notebook, use your notebook. If you have any fidgeting items, use them, and that's it. All the rest, move aside. So if you capture all this shushing, so shush your laptop, remove your phone, and shush your environment.
I like how you mentioned that some low effort habits like putting down your phone or just like putting your laptop away. But do you have any ideas of for some other low effort habits that can really make a big difference on how effectively I can study?
Sure. So there's so many papers and research made on how can you be more effective. And it's part one of it's made out of four elements. You need to sleep well, you need to eat well, you need to have social life, and you need to do sports. Now, to say to a student it's being challenged because as much as I heard from students with the level of stress, sleeping is not the best. There's not really healthy food around them. And social life, you're trying. I'm saying do your best. So if you're planning to study the next day for 4 hours or you have the exam in 2 days, probably try to work out and get a decent sleep before you're starting your day. Now, another item that's really help you, and it's a small habit that can really make a change for students and for everyone, is that when you wrap up an activity, so you wrapped up 3 hours of study or 2 hours of study, open your notebook and by your hand or like no AI, just write yourself what you studied. So we work on marketing here. So you can say, by the session we had yesterday, we learned Area was explaining us why long tail terms can help improve our GEO. That's it. Just wrap it up so you prepare this knowledge to be accessible in your brain.
So that's actually all the questions I have from Instagram, but we did receive a bunch of questions from the website as well. So I just want to open the floor to Aria.
Thank you so much, Tia. Yeah, we just received a lot of questions from their website, and the first question was, what are some effective tools to combat procrastination when the urgency just isn't there?
Okay, so I have a love and hate relationship with procrastination. It's really helping me explaining boostability. But on the other end, procrastination is not coming alone. It's like the frosting on the cake. We need to check the cake first. So mainly, procrastination is based on overwhelming, means you get an assignment. I need to do a presentation, or you have a paper to submit next week. And you just overwhelmed. You have no idea how to start it. And in order for you to combat it or to start working, there are many techniques, but the one that's actually even working for me is boostability strategy. So what you're doing with boostability is, and as you know, since you're using boostability, is to take this assignment, shovel it to boostability, let boostability break it down for you with your personal preferences and start working on it as you go. Have you tried, like, I know that you tried it with Boostability last week. How did you feel about it?
Oh yeah, Boostability is great. I use it all the time for managing my tasks, even for this internship. It gives me a great structure for things, and I do agree. Procrastination isn't the only thing that's there. There's a need for perfectionism, there's overwhelm. So Boostability has helped me combat those greatly. Yeah, and so let's see. Our next question from the website was, how can I train my brain to focus for longer periods over time?
So I love this improvement. So your brain is not is not linear. It's not if you do today 10 minutes or half an hour, tomorrow you can do more. Keep in mind, it's your brain. So first of all, get to know your brain, as we talked at the beginning, to understand when is the best time for you to study, what are your study session length, when can you focus So to start basic, you can try and extend your study time by 10%. So if you are 50 minutes, add it to 55. This is like the basic one. Try and see how it goes. Number two, try to add, if you're feeling very strong and this focusing is working for you, try to add another focusing session. Means if on a day that you study, you have 3 times of 50 minutes sessions, try to do the fourth. But what I want you to be aware, and it's like a cautious, is that don't overuse your brain. Means try to be aware that some days you can push 5 sessions of 50 minutes, and some days you cannot. You can only do 3. So also follow your brain and your ability to focus in a day level, but also during the week. And you will be surprised to identify that on a stress week, like on exams week, you can do 3 days of a stretch, like 4 or 5 sessions, and then you will must download it for like 2. So try to manage with that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yes, it's definitely best to tailor our focus times to our brain's specific needs. Our next question from the website is, what's your go-to method for starting tasks you've been avoiding?
Isn't it reality? Isn't it like so hard to start? So when I think about starts, like if they're really short, like the 2 minutes rule, if it's something that will take me 2 minutes, I'll do it as I think about it. Just very, very fast. Just do it. If we are talking about a bigger task, is first of all, I will push it to boostability. Why do I need to struggle with break it down and what to start with? Just type it in boostability and ask boostability to break it down. And third one, again, wins and treats. You completed something, we need to celebrate that. So social, friends, walking out, any way you can celebrate.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love how you brought up including small wins as well. That's always a great option. The next question is, can background music or white noise actually help with focus?
Yes, absolutely. So as a person with focusing challenges and executive skills issue, yes, definitely music can help me focus. Actually, it's hard for me to study and focus without any noise. Keep in mind that my background music preferences change. So it's not always the same playlist that I will use. I love also some alpha waves and focusing playlists that you can find. Sometimes I need a background noise, so I will go to a coffee shop and maybe I will just put my headset with like minimal noise cancellation or some noise cancellation. Sometimes I need all the noise around me to get focused. So always be ready and always be alert on what's working for you.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. I appreciate how you added what type of noise is best for each task. So that's very helpful. Let's see. Our last question from the website is, how do you set realistic goals without overwhelming yourself?
So here it's a very hard question. So sometimes you're like overachiever or you are a perfectionist and you're trying to get as more as you can. But as I'm working with boostability and with students, I'm like, let's change the strategy. So I strongly believe in the approach of like minimal or something that we will say 80-20, get 80% of the work in 20% of the time. So try to get something that it's working, meeting your expectation or meeting what's written on a paper that you need to assign, and then decided, you know what, I can make it better, but then you can do it under control. Say, I have 1 hour to improve the paper. And again, to set the goals realistically, always start with the first one. What's the first goal for this week? What can I start working and continue from there?
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. That's all the questions I had on my end. I'm going to hand it over to Anna, who had some more questions.
Great. Thank you so much, Aria. Here are some of the questions that were asked through the email and the newsletter, so we can go ahead and get started. The first question is, how can I quickly refocus when I've been interrupted or distracted?
So it's so normal to be distracted and it's so hard to get back. So the strategies in these cases is only think on the first task. You got distracted, you went to the kitchen, you got something to eat. Okay, now you're in front of your laptop. Excellent. Open the first Google Sheet that you need to do and type the title. Just get it rolling. So start with small step, just do it. Second strategy, some people are doing some breathing techniques that help them to get focus. And the third one, don't judge, don't criticize yourself. We are getting distracted, and the goal is to get to your next item to be completed.
That's great tips. I feel like a lot of the time it's hard to get the ball rolling, so tiny steps is totally okay. It doesn't have to be major steps. The next question that was asked is, do you use time blocking? And if so, how do you adjust when your brain resists structure?
So I do use time blocking almost for everything in my life. And I definitely like the basic one. So I love to use Pomodoro. And as we mentioned before, as we get to know our brain, we know that in the morning, I have like between 2 to 4 hours that I can do heavy lifting or focusing. So probably there I will do the 50 minutes and 10 minutes break with Pomodoro. Now, as we are getting to the evening, probably there is a resistance, it's harder to focus, more things are going on. So at this time, I will definitely lower a bit the expectation. So maybe I will do 10 minutes, 15 minutes of work, and I will dedicate small assignment that I can easily work on. So like a reply to emails, definitely not learning something new and use them for to meet this resistance. And third one is giving myself again these wins and treats. So even if I was able in the evening to push something, to push a work, great. Now I have 10 minutes of social media that I can work on.
Yeah, and I think it's super important to strategize what times work best for you and what times you're most focused at. The next question is, how can I reduce multitasking and stay present with one task at a time?
So again, first of all, let's acknowledge we are multitasking people and we need to be aware of it. So instead of fighting with it and ask my brain, especially I know in my brain there are like 10 things running at the same time. This is in a good day. So instead of fighting it, let's work with it. So have a notepad or an application that if something is like crossing your mind, just write it down. So it's not keep on walking in your head and bothering you, just write it down. That's the best strategy that's working for me. Other things like avoiding distraction coming in. So as we mentioned about the shushing of your laptop, the shushing of your desk, so remove any distractions. And sometimes for multitasking, sometimes for me it's like better listen to new to lesson or to learn something new while I'm walking with my dog or while I'm cooking. I love to listen to, or while I'm driving. This is the best time to learn because it's like passively I'm listening to new concepts. So you need to identify which one is working for you.
Yeah, and I think it's super important to just clear any distractions out, and especially because it gets super chaotic for college students during the school year and especially during final seasons. My next question is, how can I build confidence if I keep feeling behind in school?
Excellent question, Anna. So I want to start with clarify these questions. From all the students that I met while working here with Boostability, as we are talking about the imposter syndrome, and I hear that student complains and feeling their confidence is going down because other student looks like, other students get these grades, they spend less hours study, and I'm struggling. So all this Instagram feeling that it's not my life are not as pretty as others, just forget about it. Just ignore it. You are in your own pace. You just need to think about yourself and the next step you're going to do. So just look at yourself. And secondly, create one item you want to focus on, one strategy, and at the end of the day, summarize what you did for it. So let's take an example. You have a marketing assignment. This is what you want to be better at. This is what you want to focus at. So you put a goal that every day I'm practicing my skill in marketing. Or if you have an exam, every day I read one chapter. At the end of this day, you summarize what I learned today. I learned finance and I know how to create an income sheet today, or how to get a beta for stock. Just write it in a small letter and it will help you capture it as we go.
That's super important, great insight. The next question is, how do I know if my study strategy is effective?
So here, when you talk about how do I know something about myself, again, we don't take grades. We are looking at your stress level. So usually when you study and you feel comfortable and you're feeling good about submitting the paper and exams, something is working. Let's wait for I'm sure your grades will be reflective, but something is working. So to know that you're study, first, track your stress level. At the end of the day, do you feel stressed? What stress? We use the official PSS framework that you need to measure your stress 1 out of 10. So measure where you are. Secondly, again, and we mentioned it before, body doubling or pet doubling. Teach your friend or your pet what you just learned. It will help you and it will give you a good feeling whether you can talk about this topic. And again, the third one is at the end of the day, summarize in one sentence. Capture everything in one sentence what you study. All these three should help you understand if your current study strategy is effective.
I think it's super important to know that like some accomplishments do not come up super quickly and not very shortly after it's done. So I think it's also important just to like clarify that like you are making progress. It just may not be as uh expedited as normal tasks are. The next question was, how can someone build motivation for long-term goals that don't give immediate rewards?
I'm smiling because you don't. And we are living in a real world. It's like, how can I get a motivation if I want to lose 12 pounds by September 1st? No, it's not working this day. The way motivation is working is by capturing these small wins. How do you get to small wins? By small steps. So take your goal, losing 12 pounds, or take your goal to prepare for a specific paper that you need to do, and break it down. And again, I'm biased, but use Boostability to break it down. And then follow up on what you achieved and celebrate. Okay, so you complete the first part of the paper. You submit the paper on time. This is a celebration. And you will see as you go that your motivation is built on your success, not on your goals.
Yeah, I think it's also super important to know that like motivation is very inspiring and it's something that it's a quality that not all students have. So if you have motivation, you're able to get a lot of your tasks done and your dreams completed. Another
I
question
want
that
to
was
add, sorry, Anna, I want to add something about motivation here. You do have motivation. So it's not that you complete your goals and then you get motivation. You have motivation. You, like, for example, learning marketing because you have motivation to continue with marketing for your career. We have motivation. I have motivation. I started Boostability because I want to make an impact for people who needs this help. So we have a motivation, but we want also to get this good feeling when we complete every small steps during the way. I hope it clarified.
Perfect. Yeah. Another question that was asked is, what does your weekly planning routine look like?
Yes, weekly planning routine. I think it's not mentioned enough and it's super important. Um, on my way, I do it at least trying to do it every week. And it's like a celebration, means it's a special meeting I'm having with myself. I'm trying to run it to have it in a coffee shop, not at home, not in the office. Order something more interesting, like be ready. It's a big event. And then I have 4 steps there. I'm reviewing what I did last week, what I kept, what am I keeping from last week? What were my achievement last week? What do I want to improve from last week? Then the most annoying part is cleaning clutter. So taking my inboxes and clean it, try rules, and remove the clutter on my email and WhatsApp and all the social texting. Then I'm focusing on the upcoming week and just identify what are the most important 3 goals that I have for the week. And the last step is to break them down and to make them like doable every day to work a little bit towards these goals.
Totally. And I know Boostability is a great platform for breaking down big tasks, so you could totally use that as well. The last question that someone asked on the newsletter slash the emails is, how do you balance being flexible with staying disciplined?
So we should thank this person for this question. So I don't believe, or I think we need to reframe the discipline to be more around self-compassion and not about self-control. So, you can put yourself a goal, or it's like the sign up for, like sign up for the gym for a full year. And then you're like, I never go to the gym. I have it. So try to find a way to find your boundaries. So find this good enough and be work around this. So this is the way that you find your balance. So if one day you are able to meet your goals, so you read a chapter every day. Okay, set the goal to be 5 days out of 7 of the week. Okay, it's hard. Let's do it the 3 days out of the week. So start something that will give you an encouragement and you will be able to continue from there. Nothing harshing and be strict about it. The opposite. By winning, by get this, as I mentioned, win and treats, that's the way you can get yourself more disciplined. I will call it more practiced than disciplined.
Super duper great insight. And I'm going to now forward the questions to Gia.
So I feel like we learned a lot about focus and motivation through those questions, but now I want to learn a little bit more about boostability and how boostability can help students. So the question I have for you is, can you walk us through a real life example of how a student has improved their focus using boostability?
Sure. So one of our example was a student from Indiana University. Her name started with an S. I cannot disclose her full name. She is extremely smart and extremely stressed. That's the way we started. She was not sleeping at night. An example for a stress level was she had an early morning flight, so she arrived to the airport like 12 hours before, sat by the gate, sleep there, so she won't miss the flight. Okay, you get the level of stress here. So the challenge was that she was constantly procrastinate. She could not create a routine around submitting the work. She had deadline anxiety. She just felt that like you're like in a restaurant. You get all the time tickets coming in, but you cannot process them. And she was sleep deprived. Sorry. And the solution in her we start working on boostability, and the way she described it is that boostability is daily activity and break it down. The ability to break down the assignment she got broke the overwhelming task into manageable pieces. So she was able to get control back. And in her words, she was saying, before Boostability, I was just surviving, not thriving. Now I sleep without pills and feel confident. So this is just one of the examples we got.
That's amazing to hear. So that concludes all the questions we have received. Um, if anyone has any questions, please stay behind and put it in the chat. But for now, I'm just going to conclude this webinar. Thank you all for coming.
Hold on, Gia. Is there are there any questions from the chat?
Nope, the chat, we don't have any questions right now.
Okay, excellent.
All right, if anyone has any questions, though, they can stay behind and ask them. But for now, thank you all for coming. If you want to hear more about Boostability, you can visit us. Our website is boostability.live. Same goes for the Instagram. I can link the LinkedIn below. And yeah, that'll be all. Thank you so much, Efrat, for answering all these questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Anna, Aria, Gia, and Faye.